It all started with me asking the internet a very simple question. Where is the best meal you've had in San Diego? And the boy who ate San Diego was born. In this series, you'll come along with me and my friends to experience the best of San Diego food. I hope. Some of y'all got suspect taste. It's gonna be fun, trust me. Come on, let's eat.
Questions I get the most from readers is, where's the best taco in San Diego? And I couldn't even begin to unpack that one for you. I'm pretty sure that could be its own series all on its own. But when a good friend who knows a thing or two about tacos recommends a place to me that I haven't tried, I take him seriously. So this week, we're heading down to the East Village in downtown San Diego for a visit to Lola 55.
So many times when I'm out and about, people will come up to me and ask, hey, can you recommend a place? And the conversation usually goes like this. It's like, hey, can you recommend a good place? Yeah, I know this great place downtown. And they always go, whoa, bro, I cannot go downtown. For some reason, people who live in San Diego seem to have this natural aversion to going to downtown San Diego. And look, I get it. It's crowded. It's expensive. It's touristy. It can be dangerous in some parts. I understand. But it's honestly not that bad. And there are many, many places downtown that make that trip worth it. And tonight we're going to talk about one of them. We are so spoiled with places to get a great taco in this town, but when one really separates itself from the crowd, I gotta check it out. Lola 55 is actually a Michelin-Recognized taqueria in East Village, San Diego. And the look of the place is really, really cool. It's all open concept. There's windows everywhere. The environment and the atmosphere are both very welcoming. My friends and I got there for happy hour, and it was a really great time to be there because it wasn't quite dinner yet, it wasn't quite lunch. We managed to find parking. It was a really nice experience getting in. The cocktails at Lola 55 are impressive. I had their Lola Marg, which is their take on a traditional margarita, with Blanco tequila, grapefruit cordial, and lime with an option to make it spicy. And I will always make it spicy. Very refreshing, nice heat. I was ready to start my dinner. Now, this is gonna seem a little weird, given that it's a taqueria, but the thing that I absolutely loved at Lola 55, more than anything else I had that night, was the Masa Fritas. Puffed rounds of corn, salt, and lime. That's it. That's the whole recipe to it. It's served alongside an avocado mousse, not guacamole, avocado mousse. This was smoother, creamier, whipped, and much lighter, but still has that really great mild flavor of the avocado. And these things ate like really light, delicious French fries. They were fluffy and soft, and they had just that right amount of salt, and it paired so nicely with the avocado mousse. I was obsessed with these things. I will go back for these alone. And while the Masa Fritas were undoubtedly the star, the reason we were there was the tacos. Now, I am not here to blow smoke or lie to you. I'm always going to keep it a buck with you. I'm going to keep it 100. I'm going to keep it real. I had 3 tacos, and they weren't my favorite. First up was what's called the Squashroom Taco. Lion's mane mushroom, squash blossoms, a house-made beet chorizo, poblano salsa, and potato chicharrones. It was very tasty, if a little unwieldy, and I know a great taco should be messy. I will never discount a taco for that. The mushrooms and the squash were a little too large for the taco and hard to eat, but they were actually pretty good. Next up, I had the Mesquite chicken taco, which is grilled mesquite chicken chicharron, cucumber, coconut rice, peanut butter matcha salsa, and pickled cilantro. The mesquite on the chicken was so vinegary, it damn near blew out my palate. I really couldn't taste anything else, and that's a shame, because it was actually pretty good chicken. The pickled cilantro was doubling down really hard on the rest of the flavors. The cucumber and the rice couldn't really do a whole lot to counter that pickled flavor of the cilantro. For me, it was very unbalanced and, again, kind of overloaded. My final taco was the Baja fish taco, and I love a good fish taco, and there are so many in San Diego. Lola 55 does theirs with a local fish, remoulade, chorizo tomato vinaigrette, baby mizuna, pickled serrano, and purple basil. Now, while I will say the fish was really well cooked, really excellent fry on it, it was big, it was juicy, it was a great piece of fried fish. But the vinegar note for me was just a little too much. It kind of took away everything else from the taco. I closed out the meal with some dessert, and I ordered some of their house-made churros with a vegan cajeta sauce. They were fried nice and crispy with a really sweet, fluffy inside, just the way a churro should be done. The vegan sauce that was served alongside it was definitely texturally giving more of a syrup than a caramel, but boy, it was tasty. Lola 55 also does a lot of seasonal specials on their menu, and we tried one for dessert. They have some great ice creams on the menu. The horchata and pumpkin one were great, but my favorite was the dark chocolate mole ice cream. And while I didn't pick up a whole lot of heat in it, it just had this really beautiful, rich, sweet taste to it, and they do a chocolate syrup on it, which kind of hardens almost like a shell with some peanuts. Really, really, really tasty. I am not the world's biggest fan of dark chocolate, but this ice cream was it. So for me, I don't know that the tacos were really the star of Lola 55, but a great dessert, really solid margarita, and I am going back for those Masa Fritas because they are incredible.
So that was my experience at Lola 55. But now it's time to take it to the panel and see what everyone else thought. Ordinarily, we get together and make something with each other, but this week, San Diego's own Southern Girl Sweets is providing the treats for our talk. Here's what she made and how she made it.
We're going to focus on a place that actually you, Chris, recommended, Lola 55. As I said before, they are a Michelin-Recognized Taqueria in downtown San Diego, and I do particularly appreciate the location of this place because you say the words downtown to anyone who lives in San Diego, and for, I would probably say, half of the people, it's an immediate no. Like, they don't want the traffic, they don't want the weirdness, they don't want the crowds, they don't want any of that. And this is in the East Village, so it's just far enough away from the action that it's not a pain in the ass to get to, but it's close enough because I think, Amy, you told me that you guys frequently go there pre-sports thing at Petco.
Padres games, yes.
We got there during happy hour, which was great because, you know, you want to try the cocktails. It's a beautiful place. Amy J, you ordered the Bidi Bidi Bum Bum. We love a reference to Selena.
Mostly just so I could say the name.
Well, you're a mezcal drinker. You like mezcal.
I do like it a lot. And it's nice that mezcal's become common enough in San Diego that bartenders don't look at me and say, do you know what a mezcal tastes like? When I order them now, because that still happens in other places of the country, but because I'm guessing a lot of people take it, you know, order something and then send it back because they're not expecting smoky. So, but I love it. It's my ability to experience smoky alcohol because whiskey and I are not friends. So, yeah, it was really good. It wasn't an overly smoky drink. That was definitely a good drink to maybe introduce someone to the genre.
Yeah.
But it was good. It's probably my favorite there that they make.
Solid choice for happy hour. That was my choice. Chris, do you have a go-to on their menu or?
I don't. They do have a pretty consistently, they rotate through specialty cocktails. This time around I don't remember what they called it, but it was a grapefruit spritz fizz kind of drink. We were warm. It was late afternoon. I was having some fatty food, so all that light, refreshing kind of drink really was what I was looking for, and it hit the spot. It's what I delivered what I wanted.
All right. So moving on to the food. Okay, it's honesty hour. This was not my favorite. My favorite thing that I had was actually an appetizer. I ordered the Masa Fritas. I'd never had anything like that.
I never have either, and we shared it, and I loved it. I was like fighting you for the last one there.
Yeah, no, I would. But we also, before our tacos, you and I shared some Brussels sprouts. The way they do them there were charred and tossed with mole amarillo vinaigrette, cotija cheese, and thick cut bacon. For me, it was spicy, but I love spicy. That bacon was burnt.
The bacon was burnt.
Oh, it was so burnt.
And I thought it was bacon, not pork. I thought it was pork belly.
It was pork belly.
It was pork belly.
Totally disagree on describing that bacon as burnt.
Really?
It was cooked. It was rendered really a lot, and it was firm bite, but I would not call it burnt.
Yeah, and I got the pork belly taco, and also it didn't taste like pork, it tasted like char. I totally agree about the sprouts. They were cooked perfectly and were more spicy than I expected, but also really delicious.
Yeah, like I would get them again. I just think it was a fluke that I think the bacon or pork belly just stayed in too long or something. I don't know. But part of the reason I like to bring other people with me to these things is not only to share in their company and get their opinions, but they will also eat the things that I won't. And Amy J got down on some of Lola's beans, creamy piranos with diced red onions, and you and David had some thoughts.
I would leave my husband for those beans.
Wow.
Those are so good.
Sorry, Chris, you're out. Beans are in.
No, I think that they managed to get them cooked just right. So there's a little bit of toothiness to them, but they still have a good creaminess that matches the sauce that they cook them in. They're really high on the umami. There's just a ton of flavor there. There's a little bit of pickled onion, which I can do just that little bit of onion, and that just adds another snap to it. I refuse to even ask to confirm that the beans are vegetarian because I love them so much.
If they're not, you don't want to know.
I don't want to know. Just don't tell me. Yeah, they're super good, and I will never go there without getting a side.
And you've never had like a creamy bean like that.
It's described on the menu as a creamy bean, and I think they may have put heavy cream in that bean. Like, I have never had beans that tasted like that, and I thought they were fantastic. And I love the addition of the pickled onion. It wasn't overpowering, but I do love a pickled onion, and that added a really great crunch and just a really good flavor. Yeah, I was 2 thumbs up on the beans. I thought those were great.
I love that for you, for both of you. This is why I bring you guys. The first one I had is called the Squashroom Taco. It was very tasty. It was my favorite of the tacos I had. It was unwieldy. I know tacos can be messy, but it was a lot of stuff. And it was a lot of big stuff on a very small tortilla, which kind of made it hard to eat. But the flavors were on point. And that's a vegetarian taco. So Amy, you also had that. What were your thoughts?
I did. That's a favorite of mine that I go back to every time. I love the lion's mane mushrooms because they have that.
It's
that
a meaty
texture.
mushroom.
It's a meaty mushroom, and so you really get. What I love about Lola 55 is the way that they combine a lot of different textures into a single taco. So you get that meaty bite where you've got to put your teeth in and tear it bite, and then you've also got the other, like the chorizo has that crumbliness, and you've got all of these different textures working together that a lot of places, especially for vegetarian food, they just usually don't put that much thought into it. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why that's a favorite of mine.
Now, David, you talked about the smoked carnitas taco, pork shoulder confit, crisped masica, shaved tomatillo, avocado mousse, pickled red onion, and cilantro, and you were feeling that.
Yeah, that was my favorite part. Well, maybe not. The little corn things were my favorite, but that was the best taco by far after the disappointing charred pork belly.
You praised the tomatillo, which you're not a big tomatillo guy.
Oh no, it was really good. They were very, very thinly sliced, so they added a little bit of moisture and a little bit of tartness to the dish, which was really great. And the carnitas were cooked perfectly, really moist and delicious. Really, really good.
The tacos I almost ordered, but I really don't like golden raisins, but Amy J was there to hold me down, was the rainbow cauliflower taco. Charred cauliflower, eggplant bacon, avocado mousse, almonds, golden raisins, salsa, and cilantro. Now, I love cauliflower. Like, I'm a fan. Tell us about this taco.
So I have a complicated relationship with cauliflower.
Oh, do tell.
Well,
This is a safe space.
okay, so I don't like big chunks of cauliflower, and I have a lot of from the early days of people going gluten-free and trying to get you to eat cauliflower things and saying it was the same thing. It's not.
It's not the same thing.
Like, I love you, but it's not. I really love the way they do their cauliflower there
Mm-hmm.
because you don't get that huge bite that's just cauliflower.
Right.
They do cut it into small florets, and then the way that they cook it really gives it a lot of adds a lot of flavor to it.
It's kind of like tofu in that regard.
Yeah.
Like it picks up the flavor of whatever you mix it with.
Yeah, tofu with little nooks to hold the flavor.
Yes.
So that's,
Tofu with extra storage.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that's what makes that one particularly great for me. But yeah, so it's all of those different textures, and the raisins are not overwhelming. It's really more just like a hint of chewiness in a place that wouldn't otherwise have it. And so that is where all of that works so well together. And I do understand, I do think that they put a lot on their tacos.
Mm-hmm.
And they can be a little difficult, but I kind of like my tacos like that. Like I like them overloaded. I don't mind having to go back in with a
Thick
fork.
with 2 C's.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, I guess maybe we should order like extra tortillas, and then I can just make a second taco. But,
Waste not, want not.
I'm gonna throw in too that I am a booster of this restaurant.
Yes, well, and I was about to throw it to you because you were, you suggested it, and you've given me great suggestions, and this is still a great suggestion. I was not unhappy with my overall trip. The tacos just weren't it. So, what did you order, and what is your favorite here?
So,
Defend your choice, sir.
well,
No.
having been there many times, I know what I like there.
Mm-hmm.
This time I actually went with some of the specials. I had a chicken Pazole, and I guess in your favor, I will say that was probably one of my least favorite things I've ever had there. Not that it wasn't good. It was very tasty. I did enjoy it. I didn't find it outstanding, but it was a nice change. I also had like an appetizer of mini smoked fish. I think it was tuna tacos.
I did not see that on the menu.
It's on the specials.
It was on the specials. It was this was a happy hour special.
Okay.
And they were surprisingly spicy, but delicious. Really good. Absolutely would get those again. I would love it if they put that on the regular rotation of the menu. I thought those were excellent. And then I also got the Carnitas, just like Dave had. I think their Carnitas are really good. It is almost a confit. It is not the same texture as typical Carnitas. The pork is very soft, but then they crisp it in a pan so that there's some real crunch to it. But my favorite taco there, I didn't actually order, Amy did. It is the cauliflower taco. I think it's probably almost certainly in my top 3 favorite vegan dishes I've had in San Diego. I love this restaurant because, and this is one of my favorite places to take anyone from out of town. I don't think you're gonna have anything like this anywhere else in the United States.
Agreed.
Maybe LA, maybe like the very Mexican area of like Chicago or someplace, but this seems super Southern California, Baja California, modern twist. I think it's very reasonably priced for the quality of the food.
That is the
you're
other thing
getting.
I wanted to bring up.
Nothing on this menu was more than $10,
No, I thought-
which is for a downtown restaurant this nice, Michelin-Recognized. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and I also love the space. I think it's beautifully spaced, beautifully appointed.
Yes.
I think the bar is really nice. I will say my experience at the bar is a little hit or miss with depending on who's staffing it. I think who we had this time around, she was great. They have some nice outdoor space, which is sometimes a little challenging to find in that area of town. I'm really curious to see what the space is like in the new location. That's
Carlsbad.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I love this place. I've been a booster for a long time, and I wanted to make sure we all had the desserts. We kind of haven't gotten.
yeah.
That is a beautiful segue. I was actually about to get to that. So we ran the whole menu for desserts. There's only like 3 or 4 of them. We got made to order churros served alongside a vegan cajeta dipping sauce. They were fried a bit darker than I'm used to. And you have to understand, there's a future episode of The Boy Who Ate San Diego coming where we do a special report from Phoenix. and I went to one of the best restaurants for Mexican food I think I've ever been to, and their churros were transcendent. So I was just coming off of that experience. Anyway, the dark chocolate mole, I did not get a lot of the mole note in it, but it was my favorite of the ice creams we had, because they pour like a sauce on it that kind of hardens and becomes like a chocolate shell, plus with the peanuts. It was really good.
I love the childlike look of joy on your face as you were describing that.
Yes. Well, I love a dipped cone. I can't help it.
Magic Shell was my favorite thing about childhood.
Well, and this was kind of like the grown-up bougie version of that. You liked it too.
I did. I went a little off menu, but the way their menu was written was confusing. I read it that you could have either the chocolate sauce or the caramel sauce on either flavor of the ice cream. But their intention was the chocolate sauce on the chocolate ice cream and the caramel sauce on the horchata ice cream. I got the caramel sauce on the chocolate ice cream and it was a good choice, but then when I tried Chris's with the magic shell, I was like, okay, I made a mistake. They were right. I should have listened to the waitress, gone with the chocolate shell on the chocolate ice cream because it really was very good.
Yeah, and you can do like a sundae there. That's also an option there. And the pumpkin ice cream. Now, I will tell you, I'm not a big fan of pumpkin in general, but I like pumpkin spice, the spices that go into that. And I feel like the person who created this flavor at Lola 55 feels exactly the same way I do and created their ice cream accordingly. Because it was really just that spice blend for me and not overwhelmingly pumpkin. What did everyone think?
Yeah, that's the one that I ate because there are no peanuts on it. And
Well, there were pepitas on it too.
Pepitas,
Yeah.
and I probably ate half of it, so but I wasn't going to apologize for that. So no, I thought it was great. I could definitely identify it as pumpkin, but it was very much about that flavoring and not that weird pumpkin pie that our great aunts brought when we were kids.
Yes.
And we ate with all the whipped cream in the world so that it would taste okay. Which is not there are better ways to make pumpkin pie.
There
are that's also a flavor in my head that lives kind of rent free there. And this did not taste like that. It just had
It wasn't Libby.
It wasn't Libby. it had that sort of hint of it, and then a lot of those warm fall spices that really just make you feel cozy.
Yeah.
And if it was really hot in San Diego.
And now, Chris, you're not a big sweets guy, but what was your favorite of the desserts?
I really like the horchata ice cream there. I think in the cajeta caramel is great with it. When the churros were done, I took Amy's leftover cajeta and dumped it over the rest of my horchata ice cream to finish that off.
You were living your best life.
Yep.
All right. So, I mean, overall, I guess to sum up my feelings on it, I did not love my tacos, which I guess could be a problem for a taqueria, but I feel like I would be open to trying other things on the menu, and everything else I had was really, really good. And the Masa Fritas were just an absolute standout for me. Solid drinks, good happy hour. I would go back. David?
Yeah, I would go back as well, and I would even give the pork belly another shot. It might have just been an off night where just this batch got a little overcooked, but the Carnitas tacos was a winner, the masa was a winner, the desserts were a winner, and those beans, I think, were my favorite part of the meal. So yeah, definitely plenty of stuff to make a great meal out of there.
Chris?
I love the place. Big booster. I've been many times. I will continue to go.
And check out Carlsbad.
And I wanted to see the new location.
Okay. Amy?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I love that they have a really good vegan, vegetarian. Despite having a small menu, they have a really good options for vegan and vegetarian, and it's it's a nice place sometimes even just for a date night if you don't want to go anywhere too crazy. It's a nice place to go and sit, and they have those couches there so you can kind of bring in a bigger group of friends and have a little more of a hangout. And they have standard tables in the outside area. So yeah, I like what they're doing. I like how they're evolving the space.
And that's that on that for Lola 55. If you know of a great spot in San Diego you think I should try, go ahead and drop me a line at theboywhoatesandiego@gmail.com, or you can message me on one of my socials, which will be linked to this video. See you next time.